Welcome guys, Bird is here and I'm going to show you my top 10 trailers released for World of Tanks updates and patches. Most of you may know that in the early 2010s, Wargaming was releasing a trailer for each patch highlighting the most important changes. However, this method was dropped since there were a lot of patches in the recent years and they probably couldn't keep up creating videos for each of them. I'm going to rank these videos based on the visuals, the sound effects and the music, the impact in the gameplay, and also the community's excitement about the upcoming patch. Let's start the countdown. .3 gave us two new maps, Dragon's Ridge, one of my personal favorites, and South Coast. None of them is available in the game anymore since both maps were very campy. Although I think Dragon's Ridge would be very exciting with the new tier 10 medium and light tanks. Just saying. We were also introduced the complete rework of the Soviet heavy line. We received new tanks like the T-150, the IS-8 and the ST-1. And all tanks were reworked to fit their new place in the tech tree. The KV was split into KV-1 and KV-2 based on their turrets. The visuals are okay. Both the maps and the tanks are displayed very nicely, and as a bonus we get a nice little dance at the end of the video. Now you might be thinking, why would an amazing video like this end up only 9th place? To be honest, I was surprised myself when I compared it to the other videos on this list. The trailer starts awesome, showing us the new landscape and the new physics engine in the game, and well, that's all. The music is forgettable, the video looks like random cutscenes from other videos, and there is no real timeline in it. These things are very painful because this version will mean that World of Tanks will be officially released and coming out from open beta status. This video is not really something that would motivate me to get into the game and start playing it.
Redesigned maps.
.6 was a major milestone in the game, not because of the newly added map Siegfried line, but the fact that a nation will receive a new heavy tank branch while keeping the existing one as well. This meant you could not only choose if you want to play the German Maus, the Soviet IS-7 or the American T-30 at the time, but you could also choose between the Maus and the E-100 within the German nation. The video shows us the new branch of heavy tanks very effective with the sound and size of the new tanks introduced. This was the very first sign that Wargaming might start adding more prototypes and other tanks that existed on paper only, but not everybody was happy about it. .5 tried to show us that even the Germans can have good light tanks. The goal was somewhat achieved when Wargaming added the not so successful Leopard 1 and its predecessors to the game inside the German branch. The after battle statistics window was also improved for more detailed information about your battle. The patch itself didn't have a great impact on the game, and that is why it is so frustrating that the video itself is way more powerful and effective than that. Onslaught between German tanks with high-paced music and with a nice looking scenery on the new map added Pearl River. The map was removed a short time after because it was very unbalanced and fixing it would require the redesign of the map from the core. A patch with more impact on the gameplay could have deserved this kind of video rather than 8.5. Oh boy, this was a massive patch. The first time the French nation was added to the game, its tech tree only contained heavy and medium tanks. Since the autoloaders were the key nature of French tanks, everybody was curious how could a French TD and SPG look and perform like. With this patch we received our answers, adding the new French SPG and TD branch to the game. We lost 2 maps, Comarin and Swamp, but at the same time we received 2 new maps, Airfield and White Park. And this was not all. We also received 2 new game modes, Assault and Encounter, in the random battles. There was a third mode in the tests called Escort, but it was not introduced with this patch. On top of these, the IS-6 and the Yak Tiger 8.8 have become available in the store. So the patch was massive. The trailer looks awesome, the music fits just right, and no boring narrators, only guns firing, bouncing and hitting. The 9.10 video is a typical mine is bigger video with Japanese mediums facing enemy tanks outnumbered because of the lack of heavies in the Japanese tank line. Then from the forest, after something that sounded like a sick kaiju, came the reinforcements for them. The new heavy tank branch for the Japanese gave a new choice for players who wanted to play super heavies but didn't like the Maus E100 or the T110E3. The Type 5 entered the battlefield with a huge boom and becoming a significant part of World of Tanks. The maps Hidden Village, Province and Pearl River were removed from the gameplay with this patch. The video is effective. I only dislike the narrator and the lack of a very heavy and powerful music in the background that could represent the real size of the Type 5 Heavy. Now this patch was very exciting. 7.5 have extended the medium and tank destroyer branches to tier 10. This opened up new paths for new tanks in the game and new balance of power between tank types. Mediums and tank destroyers became more significant in high tier battles than ever before. At the same time, despite we have received a lot of new tanks, we've lost one that was in the game since the beginning and we are still missing it, the almighty KV-5. The video tries to show the temptation of the players who were waiting for the most famous tank of this patch, the Jagdpanzer E100. We also got new maps in the form of Seaport, Highway and Serene Coast. The video and the music sounds good. Actually it is quite effective. But nothing that can make your heart beat faster and pump you up. The reason it is so high on the list is its impact on the gameplay. This is the patch that was hated by the most and loved by the few. In 8.6 the SPG branches were extended to tier 10. Before this update, the top tier SPG was tier 8, so the changes were quite dramatic. All the SPGs were reworked to fit their new position in their new tech tree, and some new SPGs were also introduced. Sacred Valley was added to the game, and this was the patch that have introduced us the today used after battle statistics window. A lot of other game mechanics were changed, shell behavior, camouflage mechanics and a couple of other stuff. The video is a fast-paced, always moving trailer, showing the havoc that a good SPG player meant for the enemy team and the support fire that it could give to scouts in its own team. The music is exalted, it is less electronic and more orchestral, which gives some kind of hope to it. .6 was highly demanded since the introduction of World of Tanks. This patch brought us 2 new maps, Redshire and Arctic region. But the most important content of the update was the American Tank Destroyer branch. The announcement of this patch was the very first time when players started stocking up free experience in the game, so when the patch will be released they can get their hands on the indestructible T95 straight away. The T-95 was one of the most overpowered tanks at its release time. Its frontal armor was simply unpenetratable by anything, and the high explosive shells from tanks and SPGs had significantly lower impact on it. You could simply drive forward in the middle of the field on Malinovka and shoot whoever was in front of you. The enemy player's only choice was to track you and pray for somebody to get behind you, because even the side armor was strong enough to bounce shells fired at you. The video is simply super. Great music from the in-game library, maps shown beautiful, and the tanks were also displayed very nicely. An extra addition to the showcase of the new tanks and maps was a small description at the bottom of the screen. Number 1 on the list is the very first video shown to the public in Europe. The date is April 2011, and this video lured tens of thousands into the game within just a few days. The very same day when I first saw the video, I registered into World of Tanks. As it turned out, it was the day when the game became open beta. This release made the game available free to play for everyone in Europe, and also included clan wars as a sort of ranking mechanism between clans. I'm not so sure about the version number, but if I read the changelogs right, it was 0.6.3. The music is my personal favorite from Wargaming, even if I include the musics from World of Warplanes and World of Warships as well. The electric guitar combined with the sound of tracks, guns shooting, it was just irresistible. The video is also greatly edited, using the game engine mechanism to demonstrate the clashes between tanks. The only question that I still couldn't answer yet: what is a cosmonaut doing in the video? This was my top 10 update videos about World of Tanks. Let me know in the comment sections below if you think I have missed any video from the list. Also check out my other videos on my channel, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and you can also subscribe to my channel. See you on the battlefield!